AI and Chatbots, enhancing your customer's digital age experience. And for the same, I would like to introduce Mr. Evani Keshav Rao is an experienced leader skilled in banking, payments, telecom, fintech, and enterprise. Proven in crafting, executing, and marketing pivotal strategies, merging technology with commerce. Renowned for concept to market and digital transformation expertise, driving profitable product creation via tech trends and market insights. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Evani Keshav Rao, President, Digital Banking at Yes Bank.
Hi, am I audible? Yeah, so before we start, good morning. I hope the caffeine is still running in your veins. So, what we are going to cover today is a viewpoint on how chatbots and AIs will the amalgamation between the chatbots and AI. So let's start with a story. Few decades back, few of the organizations thought, let's reach out to the customers, or the customers can reach out to us. Instead of having it at a branch or a service center, we can have them call us, or we can call out to them and haunt them like how Bajaj does nowadays. So fundamentally, what they wanted to achieve was that they wanted to cater to the customer needs. The three basic needs: that the customer wants an understanding of his issue or his ask. He wanted it now, instantly, and he wanted a clear response to it or a resolution to it. Now, what they did was they created kind of a call center or a service center where they had few of the executives sit, and they gave them a standard operating procedure. These operating procedures were very simple. They had a set of questions, probable questions the customer will ask, a probable set of responses, subsequent set of questions in a tree structure, and finally a resolution or a handover to a service executive who can resolve it on a physical sense or a digital sense. As time passed by, we saw evolution of chat coming into the picture, mobile phones in hand, desktops at home and offices, and it evolved into a kind of a thought process that why can't we do away with a set of customer executives and replicate it or emulate it on a chat format. And that was the birth of the chatbot as we see today. It was a complete replica of the same tree structure onto a chat. And it kept the customer engaged. It worked very well, and we've seen it in multiple places as of today in all industries. Now, the other part of the story is there were a few other set of engineers or the scientists or geniuses who were working on artificial intelligence. And that's where the story starts changing. These engineers were primarily focusing on various aspects of artificial intelligence. One, which was contextual. Second, which was conversational. Third, which was generative. And what we will see is a dovetail of all of them with chatbots in coming days. So a chatbot will open its eyes to AI very soon. So what's the difference between a conversational AI and a chatbot? A chatbot is a tree-structured, completely rule-based, keyword-driven kind of a technology, while a conversational AI works on natural language programming. A natural language programming emulates and understands what we do, how we speak, what is the kind of context that is coming in, and that is how the whole conversations are driven. A conversational AI will understand what exactly you're saying. It can have open-ended conversations as well as a dynamic conversations, which are missing in chatbots right now. It can adapt responses. It can look at your history, what your preferences are, and generate a complete set of suggestive responses for you. It learns continuously, while a chatbot is limited in its scope. You've seen chatbots everywhere. I'm pretty sure everybody has used it. And in a similar manner, conversational AIs are very common nowadays with Siri, Alexa, and Google Assist as we speak. Now, the only major difference between both of them, I would say, is fundamentally the cost. Because every single churn of data modeling costs. Last ChatGPT's last version of data modeling costed $100 million. So it depends on how much data you're pushing in, what kind of modeling you're doing, and what kind of generation of predictive response or neuro responses that you're creating. Who have used the Google Translate? So 2006, this was the first generative responsive generative AI that we have seen. It took the same tree structure formats, it took the language in itself and tried to replicate the grammar rules into a structure in an AI format. And the added value that Google got into the sense was we already had speech to text through Microsoft and other technologies who were working on it. And they gave a life to the speech to text piece onto the Google Translate, where you can just voice out your request and it generates a response in the language of your preference. Moving ahead, nearly a decade later, we saw the first conversational AI. And that was with the launch of Siri. Siri was not just intelligent, it was responsive, it adapted and generated a response in a sense how a human would do. And that's where it opened a floodgate. I mean, I still remember it was a TikTok of its time when people used to say, Siri, tell me a joke. Or they would make videos where they would pivot one Siri against the other for a conversation. And it was in fun era. And then nearly a decade and a half later, we saw ChatGPT come into the play. ChatGPT has more data pushed into it. The data modeling was very different. What was done with Siri? Siri was a very sort of a product-based environment, while ChatGPT just expanded the scope into multiple pieces. A lot of people are using ChatGPT. I don't know how many of you have used ChatGPT. There you go. We have the response. So fundamentally, you can write articles, essays, you can even create presentations, structures for presentations. You have codes which can be generated through the same ChatGPT, or you can also run a complete project on it, structure by structure. And that's the power of generative AI that we are all looking at. And this will start only evolving more and more as we speak. When in a couple of minutes, I'll try to cover as much as possible. And beyond ChatGPT, what we are looking at is we have Google, which has come up with Bard. We have Copilot from GitHub specifically for coding and other purposes. We have Midjourney. How many of you have heard of Midjourney? It's an AI image generating tool, and the images are as real time as possible, as real as possible. And then we have Synthesia, which generates a text to video, the kind of videos where it is narrative in scope, where you have artificial humans speaking and emulating all the aspects of human emotions onto the videos. Now you can create documents, you can write codes, you can do imaging, you can do video, you can do audio and a speech to text. What do we do after this? We look at use cases. What does a customer need? We look at various use cases to give the customer the digital footprint with respect to a generative AI, a conversational AI, a contextual AI, and what his needs are. And this is where we will start looking at whether we can fit that whole aspect into supply chain, customer service automation, or fraud management. In banking, we primarily look at customer experience personalization or fraud management. We look at business process automations, which can be clearly chalked out at the back end and pushed to the front through a conversational AI, are responding to the customer's needs. And what this will dovetail into are in 4 parts. First part is a machine-human cohesion. We'll see more and more dependency of our customers onto a conversational AIs. And what will happen out here is you will start adapting technologies and adopting technologies which are more preferential for, which will give you that leverage. Like at AI, machine learning, natural language programming, transformers. This is what the whole ChatGPT is on. It is pre-trained transformers. So when you look at it, you will start getting more data from customer. You look at the data, run the models, get more insights on the customer. And then you figure out how the personal recommendations will be placed. Netflix is a one very good example where the moment you log on, it starts, it's kind of a subtle conversational AI where it tells you, suggests you that today you're going to watch this. And then you comply with it, and then you start conversing. It's a kind of a very silent conversation between a husband and a wife. That's how Netflix is. The second part would be on real-time personalization. This comes in where AI bots will be there behind the conversational AIs or the chatbots, and they will work as a time traveler. They will go look at all your past preferences, they will do analyze, and then they will say, either they will be predictive, stating this is the right time for posing a product to you, give him a Starbucks coupon early in the morning, or it will tell you what you may do after a month. That's the kind of AI time travel it will do. The other piece is real-time relevance, something like what Spotify does. It creates a complete playlist based on your current relevance and your history. And it will look at beyond automation piece, which is like giving a human touch to the conversation. So more and more what you will see is, this is more prominent in Japan nowadays, where AI is creating the new best friends of a digital version. So people are conversing with AI instead of people. So that's exactly what we will be achieving in beyond automation. Third part is empowering choices. Once you have an infrastructure, once you have the preferences, and once you know what you want to push to them, the customer will definitely become more and more cautious. And that's the point where you will need to build trust. You will have to empower customer what preferences he has to, what kind of personalized communication he would want. It's easier for us to generate a data or ask the communicative AI to express to customer. Let's assume if I am working on Siri and I ask Siri or my conversational bot to tell me my bank balance. It should have the sense to clearly ask whether I am alone, whether I am with someone, whether it is okay to spell out my bank balance on a speaker. Now, if it doesn't, that's where the problem arises, because the lack of trust, the kind of data that everyone will start holding, and the kind of responses that the chatbots and other elements will start giving will create a trust deficit. The customer will never come back. And that's where the future proofing requires. You will have to keep remodeling the AI elements of it. And once you do that, it's a costly affair. So it's a balance between what you want to invest and what you want to trade off. So a very good example is a real life example would be when you look at ChatGPT and you ask for anything beyond 2021. It will say my data is modeled only till 2021. I cannot give you a response. You can't find a Rishi Sunak as a prime minister on ChatGPT because the data model was old. Fundamentally, what I'm trying to tell you is your customer deliverance, your customer's digital experience or the response on a chatbot will be dependent on how old your data is. And you will have to keep remodeling. Unlike chatbots, conversational AIs will have to keep adapting and reworking every single time. And that rework is a budgetary exercise inside an organization. And we all have to plan for it. And the last piece is, how do you dovetail all three parts which I've told into the next generation, the Gen Z, the kind of the new neo-millennials or post-millennials kind of generations? How do you dovetail it to them? The biggest problem statement is the vernacular revolution. Your chatbots, your conversational AIs have to be vernacular. It has to cross-pollinate between languages, not just between English. अभी मैं हिंदी बात करूँगा, अब मैं आपसे English बात करूँगा, and you have to adapt to it. And the conversational AIs should also adapt to it. That's the kind of revolution that we will start looking at. We have few organizations who are working on it. We've seen live demos of those, and it's pretty mind-blowing because you can start with Hindi, you can move on to English, to a Bengali or a Telugu, and it just adapts. It gives you the right context, right response on the go. And the other piece, what I would also leave you with is the face-to-face piece. You will have new age avatars coming up with the conversational bots or the conversational AIs. And the last bit is the multiverse. As you know, Apple Vision is out, and you have Meta from Meta's Quest, which is already there. The metaverse will start becoming the new work from home at some point of time, the kind of exposure that is coming up. And that's where the whole digital footprint, the customer digital footprint will start increasing. These are few of the new avatars that you have. Children may have parents on the fly, and if you don't like humans, you can always go back to Microsoft's Clippy. And that's the kind of imagery that you will be seeing. You will not be able to make out between a human and a AI. And that's where I think we are all headed. So thank you. Any questions?
Sir, I would request you to kindly stay on stage. And I would request Mr. Manish Chandigara, CIO, Simpulo Tiles and Bathware, to join us on the stage and felicitate Mr. Evani Keshav Rao. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your wonderful insights with us. Thank you. Let's have a huge round of applause, everyone, for Mr. Evani Keshav Rao.